What's up, Night Owl? Steely here, back with another video, and today I'm going to be telling you about the town of Caer-Dineval. For those of you that don't know, the Caer in Caer-Dineval means castle, and it's one of the most prominent features in Caer-Dineval. The town is actually built on the slope of a hill leading up to the castle, and the people of town can actually get a good look at Kelvin's Cairn, the mountain, off in the distance on a clear day. Unfortunately, reaching Caer-Dineval can be kind of tricky as the rocky shore makes travel difficult, which is why they rely on the East Haven ferry in order to bring merchants and travelers to town. That ferry was shut down 2 months ago, so now the town is struggling a bit to get by. Now let's have a look at Caer-Dineval's stat block. We have a friendliness rating of 2, services 1, comfort 1. Population of 100, they can muster up 25 militia, and 2 veterans. Their heraldry is a watchtower with a red fish beneath it, and their sacrifice to the Frostmaiden is food. The speaker of Caer-Dineval is Cranach Seaver, a lawful neutral human male with the commoner stat block. Cranach is known as a bully who shouts and uses theatrics to get his point across. Unfortunately, the town speaker has been ill for months, so the townspeople hardly ever see him. And if you plan on running the Black Swords quest out of Caer-Dineval, keep the timeline in mind, as it can get pretty tricky to follow. And I'll bring this up in the Black Swords quest, but just remember, he's been ill for months. The first point of interest I want to talk about is Dinev's Rest. As a little side note, Dinev is the name of the noble family that founded Caer-Dineval. So if you want to elaborate on that backstory a bit, you can do so. The family's name is Dinev. Dinev's Rest is an inn, or at least it was up until about a year ago when it was closed down. At the time, it is being occupied by Duergar, and the windows are boarded up, and there's an old weather vane in the shape of a dragon. There are a few opportunities to reference these Duergar in Dinev's Rest in the quest to Black Swords, and there's also some other places which I'll cover in those videos. But if you don't reference these Duergar and the party doesn't find them, if say they decide to explore the inn, then they will come up in chapter 4, which is much later. The tavern here in Caer-Dineval is known as the Uphill Climb. The tavern is struggling a bit because the East Haven ferry was shut down, so travelers and merchants hardly ever make their way here, which means the well has run dry. There's no more beer, there's no more spirits, but they do, however, still serve hot chowder. This tavern is run by a rugged, middle-aged man by the name of Rourke, lawful good, human, commoner stat block. If you plan on running the Black Swords quest, there's an opportunity to have a lot of fun with this character. You see, everyone in town knows there's something up at the castle, and again, I will cover that in the Black Swords quest video, but for now, everyone in town, including Rourke, knows something's up at the castle, but no one wants to say it out loud. So, because of this, Rourke has spare rooms at his tavern for travelers to stay. But if adventurers show up, he tries to lead them to the castle in order to investigate. But obviously, he can't say that out loud, so he just says, "Sorry, adventurers, we're full up. Maybe try the castle." I tell you, I had fun with this guy. Even though the party succeeded on their insight check and called him out on his lie, he still stood his ground and said, "Sorry, friends, we're full. Check the castle." If your party is particularly slow, you can try the whole blink twice if you're in danger bit. But I found that the more time you spend just standing your ground on the lie, the more likely the party will realize something is up, especially the patrons in the tavern. If you want to give your parties a bit more of a nudge, you can have Rourke say something along the lines of, "Listen, I'm a big fan of everything that you guys have done for 10 towns, and I know that you guys are the kind of people that like to solve problems. Unfortunately, there's no room here. Check the castle." If you say those words in that tone, it would be hard for your party not to pick up on what's going on, but you can feel free to improv that however you like. You can be as subtle or direct as you wish. If you'd like even more ideas on what Rourke should say or might hint at, or any questions that the party might have, read up on the Black Swords quest or watch the Black Swords video, as these new members that have shown up to take care of the speaker while he's ill have there's a lot of hints to be had here, or you can leave a lot of it to surprise when the party gets to the castle. This is entirely up to you as a DM. But I won't be covering this because I do want this video to be somewhat player friendly. I realize that I've already kind of elaborated on things, but there's so much more beneath the surface that I would like to cover in the DM videos. And that's all that the book gives you for Caer-Dineval, but there's so much more that you can elaborate on here. I personally would have the party give clues to the party about those Duergar at the abandoned inn. Maybe some footprints in the snow, or things have been coming up missing in the night when the Duergar go out invisible. Now, a quick note about this East Haven ferry, as it's probably going to come up here, if not East Haven itself. The ferry shut down 2 months ago, and the East Haven section of the book says that the ferry is frozen and it's stuck in ice. Now, the everlasting winter has been going on for 2 years, so I'm not sure how it was still able to function all this time, even though the lakes have frozen over, unless they just froze recently. I'm really not sure about that one. That's something to keep in mind as a DM. It says that the ferry's been down for 2 months, but this everlasting winter has been going on 2 years, and the only real hint that the book gives you about why that the East Haven ferry stopped is that it's just frozen in ice and needs to be thawed out. So maybe it just took a really long time for the lake to freeze. A year and 3/4 or a year and a half. Either way, Duergar have now taken up residence at the East Haven ferry, and they've also taken up residence at this inn. And you can have the players meet them. Again, you can drop hints with footprints in the snow, things coming up missing. Same thing as the Caer-Konig town has Duergar problems as well. And this can all be linked together. In my opinion, there's not enough Duergar hints in chapter 1. So one of these quests, I think, should be part of your adventure. Add something to hint at Duergar, as they're going to have a very prominent role later on in the chapters, later on in the campaign. But that's entirely up to you. You can just kind of surprise them with the Duergar. They are going to get mentioned if you do the Black Swords quest. A lot of information is going to get dumped on your party if they do the Black Swords quest and they go the right route. And that's it for Caer-Dineval. A lot of what I wanted to cover in this town's video, it will also overlap in the Black Swords quest. So if you want more information about the residents of the castle and what's going on with the speaker, that will take place in the Black Swords quest. So read up on that quest or watch that video. I'll go into much more detail about what's in there, how to run it, maybe hint at what's going on, no hints whatsoever. When your party approaches that castle, that will pretty much be the start of the Black Swords quest. The Black Swords quest is unique, as you don't have a rumor leading you there other than that the speaker is sick. This quest is the hook for this quest is just reaching the castle, which the tavern owner attempts to get the party there by suggesting that they stay the night there. But I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you know how YouTube works. Hit those buttons, leave a comment down below. Let me know what your favorite of the 10 towns is. And if you're a DM looking for players looking for a DM, make sure you join Discord, link in the description. Come by, ask questions, let me know what you think. And as always, I'll see you at sundown.